Jake here for ExtremeTerrain, and today I'm taking a look at the axle back exhaust with polished tips fitting 2018 and newer 2.0 and 3.6 liter JL Wranglers. If you're looking for an inexpensive way to inject your JL with some more sound and personality, this axle back is a great way to make that happen. It gives you quite a bit more sound versus stock without you having to spend quite a bit of money, and it doesn't go overboard on the noise either. For that reason, this one is going to get a 3 out of 5 on our loudness meter. Certainly enough to be a noticeable difference versus your stock exhaust, but you won't get your neighbors shaking their fists at you as you go running past. Whether you've got the 2.0 or the 3.6 under the hood of your JL, this axle back is going to imbue it with some additional sound and a cool look. Yes, this is going to fit with either engine, and that means it also fits the 4xe models. But whether it's backing up the 2-liter turbo or the Pentastar, you get a much deeper tone and much more character from the exhaust, as is befitting a Wrangler. Now, as you heard from the clips at the beginning of the video, this one again is louder than stock, but it gives your JL a smoother, much more lively tone. Overall, it's actually pretty mild, whether you've got the 2.0 turbo or the V6, but it doesn't have a lot of rasp or unpleasant frequencies to it. Definitely something you'll be able to hear with the top down, and with the top up you'll get some more volume too, but again, nothing too obtrusive. It's a nice little rumble inside, but you'll still easily be able to hold a conversation and enjoy some music while you're driving along. You'll just be able to enjoy that exhaust a little bit more too. Now out back you do get these two large 4-inch polished tips, so it's a nice aesthetic upgrade as well. But in keeping with the theme, it's nothing too over the top, just a nice update versus stock. Now since this is a dual outlet, it's a symmetrical look, but it's not going to ruin your departure angle either. So if you are planning on doing some off-roading, this isn't going to get in the way as much as some others would. Now construction here is your standard stainless steel, but it's just finished with this high temp black coating for some extra corrosion and rust resistance. Everything here is TIG welded, and the 2.5-inch mandrel-bend piping for the inlet and the outlets are going to make for better exhaust flow versus your stock exhaust as well. Overall, it's a pretty decently put together bit of kit, and it doesn't have a huge price tag either, which is going to help its case tremendously. Speaking of pricing, that might be the best part, as this comes in at just about $350, and that makes it the least expensive muffled axle back on the market for the JL right now. So if you want to get that better sound without spending a fortune or having to deal with a sometimes loud muffler delete option, this is going to be a great choice for you. It has a really nice sound and tone to it, and it's not going to be over the top in noise nor the budget. Install is going to get a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and this should only take you about 30 minutes or so to get it installed. Now, since this is just an axle back, it essentially just bolts right in place of your factory muffler. It doesn't require you to make any modifications either, and it uses both of your factory exhaust hanger locations, and it just clamps right onto the inlet pipe. Not much more we can say about it here, so with that, why don't we head on out to the install bay and we'll show you that process.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, an exhaust hanger remover tool, a rubber mallet, an extension, 13 and 15 millimeter sockets, and a pry bar.
What's up guys? Today we're installing an exhaust on our Wrangler. First we're gonna watch a quick little uninstall video for how to uninstall the stock exhaust, and I'll meet you right back here for the install.
So removing a JL muffler, this is going to be pretty simple. It's held on with 2 rubber hanger isolators, one on either side of the muffler, and there's another one over there by the tailpipe, so 2 in total, and then a 15 millimeter clamp up here on the over axle pipe, which we're going to loosen up second. First thing we're going to do is pop the hangers out of their isolators. Here's how I like to do it. If you just grab a pry bar and get that situated underneath the Jeep, go ahead and push to the side here. That's going to pop off just like so. Same thing goes on the other side. Now, one thing I always like to note, now that we have the muffler hanging down a little bit, if you do struggle with this and you need to remove these, it's held on with a couple 13 millimeter bolts. There's one here and one up at the top facing the other way. You could always loosen those up with the 13 millimeter socket and a U-joint, and this thing will come down as one. Then you could transfer those over to the new muffler. And this is the clamp that's holding on our muffler now. 15 millimeter socket to loosen that up.
So now that we have our stock muffler removed from our Jeep, we can begin to install our new one. So we'll take our clamp and slide it over the edge of our pipe, and then get that wiggled into our over axle pipe and then into our hangers, and then we'll go back and tighten down our clamp. So now we can take our clamp
and slide that over the edge of our pipe. And then we can raise up our muffler. So now that we have our muffler slid over our over axle pipe, next we can install our two hangers. Now it's going to be a lot easier on the driver's side than it is on the passenger side to get this hanger in. So I'm going to remove the bracket holding our isolator. We have a 13mm bolt right here and then another one right above it. So we'll grab a 13mm socket to get these out. So now with our passenger side bracket removed, we can come back to the driver's side hanger and we can raise this up and get it into our isolator. And then we can bring our pull jack over to our passenger side, slide on our hanger and reinstall it. So now we can slide our isolator onto our rod. And then we can start to raise up on our pull jack, slide our bracket into place. And then once we have everything lined up, we can reinstall our two 13mm bolts. And then come back in with our 13mm socket to tighten these down. So now we can slide our clamp into place. If your clamp is a little too tight to get around here by hand, you can give it a few soft taps with a rubber mallet. And then we can grab our 15mm socket to tighten it down. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Axleback exhaust with polished tips for your 2018 and newer 2.0 liter or 3.6 liter Jeep Wrangler JL. Thank you for watching, and for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.